In this video, it's going to have everything. Everything is going to be here. So if you are new into astrophotography or you are new with the Dwarf 2 telescope, you watch the entire video. And if you are an experienced astrophotographer, you need to watch the entire video too. I'm going to also do some editing on both of the different situations. One of them, it's going to be with the stack image, and this image is spectacular and I love it. And then I'm also going to do a little bit more advanced editing on the photos, and you're going to see the difference between them. Dwarf 2 telescope and the Orion Nebula M42. Freezing here outside, and right in front here I have Orion, and tonight the stars are just posing and screaming like, photograph me, take me, take me. It's so beautiful. The Optalon filter L Pro makes a big difference on the images, and also the stars. I am doing the 15 seconds, the maximum exposure time, and the stars look really good. So I am using for the first time the official new app. So let's just go ahead and connect the telescope. Very good. So far we're doing good. I already got my dark frames. I have to retake them as I've been doing demonstrations how to take dark frames. So already I have my telescope. The lens is pointing up. Polaris is completely in the opposite direction. The telescope is facing the east right now. I want to turn off the light indicators, so I don't want to have any light around the telescope. We're trying to minimize that as much as possible. And now we'll just go into photo, okay? And those purple reflections, I honestly don't know what that is. They started to show after I did the latest upgrade. I don't think it's going to affect anything, but we can see some little lights there on the bottom. Let's go and click on photo. And then we are going into Astro mode. And let's go into functions and touch right there. And I want to increase the shutter speed. It may be that it does it automatically. Kind of like I like to put it like maybe on 6 or 8. Okay. So the next step, let's see, we need to change the gain here. At the gain, I like to use 80. That seems to be the sweet spot for me. I'm sorry, I have my hands are very cold. It is cold. Okay, so now that I have the shutter at 6, the gain at 80, not 90, 80, let's just change it. And regarding the gain and the shutter, the gain in particular, you don't want to put it extremely bright. This target, I may even lower it to 60, but 80 is what I do for nebulas. This is a very bright target. So if I see it's too bright, I may put it on 60, but normally I use 80, which seems to be the sweet spot for me. Shutter, we're just going to leave it right now at 6 until it does the calibration. There's no need to touch anything else. So let's just touch there on the cube. And now let's go to the calibration and just click on confirm, and the lenses are up. The telescope, it's in the opposite direction of Polaris, so I am not polar aligned or anything, like not even pointing there. The telescope, it's pointing right now to the east. Okay, so there it goes. It's doing all of its thing and all kind of colors and things. Now we're starting to see some traces of stars, and the focus seems to be fine right now. I focused it last time and it stayed there, so I'm not going to move anything. You want a calibration success, very good, so click OK, we are good. And now we kind of like take a look at the stars, And what you want to have is the stars like this, as small as possible. Very tight, small. You don't want to have big stars, so you need to work a little bit on the focus. But on this occasion, right now, I don't need to do anything as the stars look very good. That's the way it is. Okay. So I am still at shutter at 6, but my goal is to have it at 15 or 13 seconds. We'll see. It all depends on how bright it is. Okay, so beautiful. Looks really nice. So let's go to function and start target. And I am going into nebula, as I know that I am going to photograph a nebula. And the Orion Nebula, the one that everybody loves to photograph, the name is M42. And this is one of those things that you need to start getting your planetary app that I recommended. It's in one of the videos on the tutorials for the Dwarf 2 telescope, the Dwarf 2 Telescope Academy. I have so many videos there. Look it up. I've been recommending some really good planetarium apps that you can install in your phone. So you need to find the names of the targets that you want to photograph. So let's just go ahead and go on M42 and let's go to confirm. And it's going there. It's going to find it. I see it right in front of me. It's right on the east right now. Are you kidding me, Dwarf? Right there in the middle of the screen. Oh my God. This is just amazing. Amazing, this telescope. That's it. I don't have to reframe or touch anything. And some of you asked me before about the joystick here, which is not going to work once you are on the astro mode and past the calibration and all that. If for some reason it doesn't frame it right in the middle, I guess the only option is to go and click on the X and do it again, but it takes 2 or 3 minutes. So, but for me, it's always right in the middle. Okay, so now we have Orion Nebula right there in the middle of the screen. And now I'm going to look again into the settings. And I have it at 80. What I'd like to do is let me just move the shutter to 15, and it's probably going to be overexposed. Let's just give it a few seconds until, oh, look at that. Yeah, with very, very bright targets like this one, you can lower the gain to 60. Let's just go ahead and lower it to 60 and see what happens. It's always better to photograph a little bit underexposed than overexposed. If it's overexposed, it's very difficult, extremely difficult to fix. Now, I am going to put a filter on the telescope. So that is going to make a big difference. So now that I am ready here, I am going to make a pause. That looks really good, but I need to see how it looks with the filter, because the filter is going to dim a lot, and I may have to bring the gain again. But gain 80 is the sweet spot for nebulas that are not extremely bright. If not 60, gain 60 like what I have right now if you don't have a filter. And the shutter at 15 seconds, it should be good, but I am going to come back and check. Wow, and what a big difference on the screen. Let's just compare these two screens. I'm going to put a screenshot on the next to it. This is an absolute big difference. See how the colors are richer. Everything looks really good. Let's just see gain 50. What I don't want is to overexpose the middle of the nebulosity, which is very bright. It seems that it's not making too much difference. I am going to use 60, which is the one that I always use. And at 15 seconds, seems to be good. The stars are not elongated. I always have so much problems with this word. They're not long. So I think that's about right. Now the next step, which is going to be to see how many images are we going to have. Okay, so then we go to the little cube here and we're going into settings. There's no need to touch curves or anything else, okay? And remember, if you're going to use a filter for light pollution, you put the filter once you are done with all of the settings, which I am almost done right now, but I needed to put the filter on to do some fine tuning here, and I am good with what I'm seeing right now. So now I'm going to go into settings, and I'm just going to do 300 images, and I am going to start and see how it looks. Okay, so everything looks good. There's no need to touch on anything else. We just need to be sure that the preview here it's on stacked, and the binning is 4K, which is the highest resolution we can get with this telescope. If you want to do 2K, that's fine too. Then the files are going to be smaller. But the goal here is to get a very beautiful stacked image. If you are a beginner and this is your first experience with the Dwarf telescope or any telescope, just leave it on 4K so you can get a better image with higher resolution. That's all we need to do. This is so simple. So I have 15 seconds, gain 60, binning one by one. All the information is there on the screen. We're going to give it a try and give some, oh my God. That is just the first image. This is an absolute beautiful image. That is just spectacular. Yes, it's going to be absolutely beautiful when I finish all of them. And I am planning to process them a little bit in Pixinsight. And also I am going to show the stack image. This is absolutely just like this, just with 4 images. It's good enough for you to show it on social media and brag about this image. Okay, so the image in session keeps going and going. Unfortunately, I have to stop the recordings. I have recorded a lot already, but I need to protect the electronics here. The tablet was getting affected a little bit, and the 2 cell phones that I have for recording and my laptop is here. We can see my workspace here. I just wanted to show the telescope is doing great. The temperatures is not affecting the telescope, but I need to protect the rest of the electronics. So we'll see at the end what happened, and I'm sure it's going to be a beautiful image. And you're not interested or you don't want to process all of the frames, here is where you're going to find your stack image, and it's going to say stack, and the stack thumbnail is not exactly what you want to do work with, which is just a tiny one. It's okay, but it's very small. So we just want to open the stacked image, and I am going to do this on Photoshop, but you can use any other editing software. So here you start seeing the imperfections on the stacked image, and these are all of the things that I am going to correct doing the cosmetic correction in Pixinsight. So this is what I was talking about, and we'll compare both images, 2 or 3 images at the end. But let's say you just want to show it pretty much the way it is. So this is what Dwarf got for you, your stack image, and the first thing we need to do is just to crop this black artifacts here, which are caused by the field rotation. And for that, we're just going to get as simple as a crop tool. And that way you can preserve some of these stars. We're just going to go ahead and crop, and now we have our image. right? There's not too much we can do on the background, not like the other image that I am going to process. So in this case, you can do some colors adjustments. Okay, so now let me just go ahead and go here into curves. And because this is a very bright image right now, we need to go easy on the adjustments here. And like you see, like right there, it dims a little bit, so it's looking better. But if, for example, if you did this and go this way up, that you see that that's way too bright, so you don't want to do that, okay? So it's kind of like more of the opposite this time. So we just kind of like leave it like that. You have to bring that curve down, that brightness down. And let's see, sometimes I can just bring down here the background just with this tool here, that little finger that goes like that. And what you do is you just click here with the little tester here, and you just kind of like click there, whatever you want to bring down. In this case, it's going to be the background, and it already got it. And you just boop, make the background a little bit darker, and we'll just click OK. And that's it. I mean, that's your image right here. And be very proud of this one because you took it. And others can't, right? Because you have a Dwarf 2 telescope. And last but not least, is going to be to put your name. Always put your name on your images. I'm going to get my signature. And if you're going to do your signature like the way I am doing, you need to be sure that the image is a PNG. That's the format that you need, so it's transparent, it doesn't have any background. So pretty much you can just put your signature with any color, whatever you want. Let's just go ahead, and you see there's my big name right here. And I am going to resize, as I would like to have my name all over this image, but it's not about me, it's about the nebula. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to put it right here, make it a little bit smaller. Ta-da! And there you go, that we have our stack image ready to show the world. Very simple. Okay, so now it's time to process the images in Pixinsight, which is an astrophotography editing software, and that's the one that I like to use because I am familiar with it. These softwares are all complicated. Cyril, it's one that may be a little bit easier, but I haven't tried, but I promise I will. So Pixinsight, and I started the process as always, just calibrating all of the frames. I have over 900, about 1,000 frames, all 15 seconds each. And because these images now are in a high resolution, which is the 4K or 1:1 binning, bigger files, so it took a long time. So what I do for that process, I just upload all of the photos and do all of the settings. It's very important to know that I do cosmetic correction in this process, which means that all of those satellites, meteorites, and all of those black artifacts and things that are not supposed, airplanes that are not supposed to be in our images, if you don't want them, they are gone. So let's just go ahead and start with the first process and the RGB image. All the images have been calibrated and also has been done with cosmetic correction. So all of that process has been done, and I can go through this in another video. Let me know in the comments if this is something for all of you that are just starting, if this is something that you would like me to do a video on the calibration frames. And now we finally get our first look at the RGB image. And remember, everything is dark. This is the way we get our images. This is normal. So if you get a black image like this, it's okay. All the information is there. So are you ready? Let's just count. 1, 2, 3. Whoa. So this is our image just with cosmetic correction, and frames have been calibrated, which it's not changing anything in the colors that I got here. And this image already has been cropped. So I cropped some of the imperfections on the edges, but the block artifacts are gone. They're not going to show after the calibration process. Okay, so here I am on the GraXpert app or program that I have in my computer. Now I have to do an update today on the new Pixinsight, and I had GraXpert before a few minutes ago on my previous version. But for some reason it doesn't want to work right now. So I am just going into the app that I have installed, and this is the new version of GraXpert. So I'm just going to do it here, but it can be done in Pixinsight, and hopefully I can solve this problem. I just want to show you how good this program is. And this is the image that hasn't been stretched, and we're just going to calculate the background. When it's in Pixinsight, it's very easy. You just click on the correction and it's done. Okay, let's just go ahead and extract in background. Okay, so now we have that, and it has been processed, and I can see my original image. Process one, and it looks exactly the same. And this is the background. This is what it has been removed from the image. Okay, so it really doesn't need that much. I think this is more than enough for right now, and we'll just go ahead and bring it here. I can always use, if I want, the automatic background extraction, but I don't think it's necessary. And look how good our image is looking right now. So this is really good. I'm very happy with it. Okay, so the next step, I want to plate solve this image just so I can do a few more things with it, such as the photometric color calibration. So for that, I am going here into image analysis, and I'm going to do the image solver. And I just need to be sure that all the parameters are here and are correct. And yep, this looks right. And let me just put M42 here and search for that target. And there you go. Yep, M42, and we'll just click OK. There it is working, looking at all of those star catalogs, so many of them, and it's going to match some of the stars that are here, compare it with their data, all these gigantic files that we have to install in our computer. In my case, I install all of them on a hard drive, an external hard drive. Okay, so plate solved, it's good to go. Now I am going into process, and let's just go to photometric color calibration, which is the one that I always use to avoid problems. It's okay, and we're just hoping that it can make some adjustments on the colors, and on many occasions it doesn't do that much. It's just very minor changes. So okay, so here's the photometric color calibration has been done. We'll just go ahead here, and it seems like now our image is very white, but that's not a problem. We're just going to reset here, and I think it's going to look really good. Look at that. Oh my god. Yes, wow. Okay, so what a big difference. Look at all. So beautiful. The GraXpert did an amazing job, even though that it's not installed on my Pixinsight right now. But look at that. Ooh, look at the Orion Nebula right here. Isn't that beautiful? Wow, this is a very nice image. I'm so happy with it, and I am thankful for Dwarf 2 and also for Optolong L Pro filter, which made a big difference here. Wow, this is really good for a tiny telescope. So the next step, it's going to be BlurXterminator. I love BlurXterminator. It's going to do some corrections here on the stars, and it's going to make them a little bit smaller. BlurXterminator, and this is going to be a very simple process, and I'm just going to use the default settings. There's no need to reinvent the wheel and the nebula, nothing. So let's see, this is before, and let's see what happened with BlurXterminator, which is one of my favorite tools. GraXpert, BlurXterminator, StarXterminator, and NoiseXTerminator. Okay, we are almost ready. Absolutely. You see, the stars are smaller. Even these ones are big, but that's okay. They're big stars. I am amazed here with the Running Man Nebula. But now that I did the zoom in here, you can see how much noise we have on this image. So now it's time to remove that noise with NoiseXTerminator. We'll go to Process, All Processes, and NoiseXTerminator. The same thing here. Well, in this case, because it has a lot of noise, I'm going to use 80. The detail at 15 it's okay. We'll just give it a try. Wow, look how. Oh yes, you see what a big difference it makes when we remove all of that noise on the background. So this is where we are right now. Okay. For those of you that are new into astrophotography, and non-linear is what we're going to do now. So for that, I can use so many different techniques. One of them, it's the generalized hyperbolic stretch. So I'm just going to have here a preview. Let's just close this window. And the first step is that I'm just going to click anywhere there on the kind of like the background, and I am going to put the local intensity. I don't want to go too hard on this one. Let's just say 4.6. That's okay. And little by little, I'm just going to do a little stretch here. We don't want it to overblow the core of the nebulosity, overexpose it. Let's see. The next step is I'm just going to go ahead and apply this. And now we see that we're starting to see some good results. We may not have to do too much with this image. I'm going to reset here, and I am just going to, I don't want to keep adding more light into the core of the nebula because it's really bright. I'm just going to go here more towards the background and give a little bit of a stretch there. So this image is already stretched, it's non-linear. And we'll just go little by little. We don't want to do too much. And now we're starting to see, that nebulosity. Okay, so I'm going to apply that. That looks very pretty right there. Okay, we don't have to do too much more. That looks pretty good. What you don't want is to have the background, the sky, completely black. First of all, the sky is not black. But also, what happens is that when you put that background completely black, you're going to clip a lot of this nebulosity here. So I can give maybe just a little bit more right here where that nebulosity is, and I'm just going to do very little. Just put it here like on 2 and go slowly and see what we have. Well, see, if I do this, now we see everything that we have there, and that can be 2. I can then, that will be too much, but like right there. Now we're starting to see other details in the nebulosity that I couldn't see before. You see all that data, it's right there. Okay, so let's just take a look here. And you see, now I am going to do background a little bit darker. And for that, I am going to change here to linear. Let's go ahead and do the preview again, and you can see now my image doesn't have that green bar here. That means that it was not stretched yet, and now it is permanently stretched. So when you are working with your images, be sure that you make copies of what you're doing, because if you want to revert everything, sometimes can be a little bit tricky too. Okay, so now I am just going to put a number 1 here. Ta-da! And that's it. I'm not going to do more. And that number 1, it's most of the time correct for the background. And look at that. Look how beautiful this image is starting to look. So let's compare. I mean, the demonstration speaks for itself. So now we see, obviously, this is a great image. If you want to show it too, that's okay. I mean, it's better than people that can't take an image of the sky or a nebula. So this will impress your friends if you're brand new and you just have your Dwarf 2 telescope and you don't know how to process these images. But if you want to learn, there's plenty of tutorials here on YouTube, and I have too. So if you want to follow my workflows, that will be great. So this is a big difference, and this is the green bar that shows that the image is still in the linear phase, hasn't been stretched. Okay, so now what I am going to do, I just want to, I would like to keep that background the way it is. What I want to do is to do some color saturation here and see how it looks. And for that, I am going to use the curves transformation, which is pretty much the same that we use on Photoshop to do just the basic editing. Okay, so now that we have here our preview, I'm going to click here on S as saturation. And look how beautiful that looks. I don't think I want to do too much more with it. You see that's too pale there. Let me reset the tool. And if we go all the way here, you can make it very red, and I see a lot of images like this. I personally don't like that. I think this about here, it's okay. I may do 2 rounds of it. Look how beautiful it looks already. Oh my God, and look at the Running Man Nebula right here. That's very nice. Give it a little more. Okay, just to say that I gave it a little more. I normally do 2 rounds. That may be a little bit too red. That is okay. Let's see the before. That kind of looks more natural to me. And this will be with more red. Kind of like reddish tones. And then the Running Man Nebula got some pretty good colors there too. I don't know. I just don't like that much. So I'm going to do what I normally do, is a little bit less. To me, less is more. I don't like oversaturated. I don't like over nothing or overplaying when I play. Okay, so now that we have this, I mean, I'm almost done with this image. I am curious to see what the auto color does on this image. Sometimes I don't like it. It may just enhance a little bit. It may change the whole thing completely, so we'll just revert. Ooh, ooh, well, look at that. I like it. Now we have all this kind of like cyan colors that are absolutely beautiful. You know, I'm going to leave it like this. So then I'm going to just to do, I would like to do some sharpening. Oh, yeah. Maybe that was a little bit too much. Let me see. No, it's good. It's good. I like it. I have another image that I already prepared, and then we'll compare on the 2 edits. So, but So far, this is good. One thing that I forgot to do with this image was to remove the green tones. It seems like we're always removing green tones. Well, there you go. So I guess the last thing I can do, I was going to dim a little bit here the core of the nebula, but now that it gave all these colors, I'm just going to leave it like this, and we'll just compare with my first image that I edited. Another thing that I want to do here is to show the annotation of the image. And it's going to be under render here on script, and I'm going to do annotate image. And what this is going to do, it's going to identify the stars and all kind of things that are in this image. Let's just go ahead and do it. I think it's very impressive when you show your image right here. Oh my God, look at this. See, so it already found all of these other stars and nebulosity. 1980, I did photograph this one, the Orion Nebula and the Orion Nebula M43. Up here we have the Running Man Nebula with the catalog number, the name of the stars, the name of this other star, 42 Ori 45. Wow, this is amazing. Okay. So I am very happy with this, and all it needs now, it's my name, and this image is done. And now I want to open my new edit. Wow, look at that. Okay, so I am going to do a minor adjustment here, and that is this. Oh my God. Wow, look at that. Okay, how about that? I'm going to leave it like this. Now it's just a matter of bringing my signature and put it right here where it belongs, my beautiful image. So, what do you think? I like it. Did you like it? Which one was your favorite? Just tell me right here on the comments. Talk to me. Tell me, what do you think about the entire process? Now it's time to show my images and put the beautiful music that goes with them. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week with another video of, I don't know.